He came from the streets of Buenos Aires, walked among the poor, and rose to sit on the most powerful religious seat in the world. But who really is Pope Francis? Is he just a humble priest? Or the fulfillment of ancient prophecy? Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio on December 17, 1936, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, is a man whose life story reflects the very essence of humility, faith, and service. Raised in a Catholic family, Bergoglio's roots were deeply embedded in the Christian faith. His father, an Italian railway worker, and his mother, a homemaker, instilled in him the values of hard work, simplicity, and devotion to God. Despite his humble beginnings, it's clear that from an early age, he was destined for something greater. His youth was not without its struggles. At age 21, Bergoglio battled a severe case of pneumonia that left him with part of his lung permanently damaged. Yet, instead of being defined by his illness, this near-death experience ignited a burning desire to serve others, particularly the sick and marginalized. In 1958, Bergoglio entered the Society of Jesus, a religious order known for its commitment to education, social justice, and missionary work. He spent years as a Jesuit novice, honing his intellectual and spiritual understanding. His deep commitment to God and his desire to serve those in need became the defining characteristics of his priesthood. By 1969, he was ordained as a priest, and his leadership within the church began to flourish. Over the next few decades, Bergoglio held several key positions within the church, including serving as the Bishop of Jaca and later as the Archbishop of Buenos Aires. His ministry was marked by a commitment to social justice, outreach to the poor, and an unyielding stance against corruption. He became known for his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. Whether it was riding public transportation or visiting the slums, Bergoglio was always present in the lives of the everyday people he served. In 2001, Pope John Paul II appointed Bergoglio as Cardinal of Buenos Aires, a position that further solidified his place within the upper echelons of the church. Despite his high rank, Bergoglio remained resolute in his vow to live humbly. He famously rejected the luxuries that come with such a prestigious position, choosing to live in a simple apartment and cook his own meals. But it wasn't until March 13, 2013, notice of this humble. That day, the world heard the words of Habemus Papam. We have a pope, and Jorge Mario Bergoglio became Pope Francis, the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. The surprise came not just from the fact that he was elected, but from the profound symbolism of his election. The first Jesuit pope, the first from the Americas, and the first pope to choose the name Francis in honor of Saint Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of the poor. As Pope Francis has consistently defied expectations, he rejected the lavish trappings of the papacy, choosing to live in a modest guest house rather than the papal palace. His focus on poverty, humility, and compassion has shaped his papacy in unprecedented ways. One of his first acts was to wash the feet of 12 inmates, symbolizing his belief in serving the most marginalized in society. His simple message, "I want a poor church for the poor," quickly gained global attention. Pope Francis's leadership has not been without controversy, particularly in his progressive stances on issues such as climate change, immigration, and social inequality. He has challenged both the church and the world to reevaluate its priorities, pushing for greater compassion, understanding, and action on behalf of the marginalized. His theology centers around the concept of mercy, a theme that runs throughout his papacy. He believes in forgiveness, reconciliation, and the transformative power of God's grace. He has made bold moves to modernize the church and reach out to people who have felt alienated by its traditional stances. Pope Francis's deep belief in the power of mercy is something that resonates with millions around the world, especially in a time of widespread division and hardship. In his role as the spiritual leader of over 1 billion Catholics worldwide, Pope Francis has played a pivotal role in shaping the future of the Church. His ability to bridge divides between traditional teachings and the evolving needs of society has made him a beloved and influential figure on the global stage. But despite his humble beginnings, Pope Francis has also been a subject of prophecy and intrigue. Some believe his papacy is connected to ancient prophecies concerning the final days of the Church. Whether or not these prophecies hold any weight, there is no denying that Pope Francis's leadership continues to inspire, challenge, and shape the course of modern Christianity. As he continues to navigate the complexities of the modern world, Pope Francis remains a beacon of hope, humility, and faith for millions across the globe. The prophetic significance of Pope Francis: many people believe that Pope Francis's papacy may be a fulfillment of ancient prophecies, particularly those that speak about the final days of the Catholic Church. While prophecy is often subject to interpretation, there are a few significant connections and predictions that have caught the attention of theologians, historians, and even the faithful. One of the most well-known prophetic references is from the Prophecy of the Popes, attributed to Saint Malachi, a 12th century Archbishop of Armagh. This prophecy allegedly predicts the future popes of the Catholic Church, listing them by name or by description. According to the prophecy, the final pope, referred to as a Peter the Roman, will lead the Church during a time of great tribulation and destruction before the end of the world. Some have speculated that Pope Francis, as the 266th Pope, may be the one identified as Peter the Roman in this prophecy. Though the prophecy of the popes is not official church doctrine, it has sparked significant discussion. The reference to a Peter the Roman in the prophecy speaks of a pope who will witness a period of great suffering and challenges for the Church. Some interpret Pope Francis's reign as a time of renewal, reformation, and suffering that will eventually bring about a transformation in the Church's mission and purpose in the world. In addition, Pope Francis's teachings on mercy, justice, and love have been viewed by some as fulfilling the Christian expectation of a leader who embodies Christ's message of forgiveness and reconciliation. He has worked tirelessly to reform the Church from within, calling for greater accountability, transparency, and a focus on serving the poor, marginalized, and suffering. His stance on climate change, poverty, and immigration also aligns with the prophecies about the Church playing an active role in addressing global injustices and helping those most in need. The influence of his leadership on global events throughout his papacy, Pope Francis has been a figurehead for global change. His leadership goes beyond religious boundaries, as he has become an advocate for peace, environmental justice, and social equality on the world stage. His bold stance on issues such as climate change and interfaith dialogue has drawn both praise and criticism. One of his most notable efforts was his encyclical letter, Laudato Si, in which he called on all people, not just Catholics, to take action against the growing environmental crisis. He framed this issue as a matter of social justice, urging the wealthy nations to take responsibility for the ecological damage they have caused and advocating for the rights of the poor, who suffer the most from climate change. This encyclical sparked worldwide conversations about the ethical responsibility of individuals, corporations, and governments in addressing the environmental crisis. Pope Francis has also been a strong proponent of interfaith dialogue. As part of his mission to foster peace and understanding between religious groups, he has made historic visits to Muslim-majority countries and has met with leaders of other Christian denominations. His most notable visit was to Egypt in 2017, where he spoke out against violence committed in the name of religion and called for mutual respect between all faiths. Another defining moment in his papacy was his commitment to addressing the issue of sexual abuse within the Church. Pope Francis has taken significant steps to hold Church leaders accountable for their actions, demanding transparency and reform. His efforts to create a safer environment for victims have earned him both respect and criticism.